Joining us now, the host of the O'Reilly Factor on Fox, also author of the New York Times bestseller, Bold, Fresh Piece of Humanity, Bill O'Reilly. Good to see you, Bill.
Hey, George, how you doing?
I'm okay. So you heard Robert Gibbs there. He says, let's put aside the polling, put aside this talk of Kabuki Theater and get something done.
The Kabuki Theater, huh? Look, let's put aside Robert Gibbs for a minute and get right to the heart of the matter for the folks, because your head's going to blow off if you don't do that. Each side has one very compelling argument. The Democratic side has a compelling argument that the private health insurance companies are gouging.
Anthem.
They're gouging, all right, because they're making billions of dollars, they're giving billions in bonuses, or hundreds of millions or whatever, and they raise the premiums so the working class can't afford it. Very powerful argument. The Republicans have a very powerful argument in the sense that the country can't afford the entitlement President Obama wants to put forth. He says it's $1 trillion. That's bull. It's at least $2 to $6 trillion. That's how much it's going to cost. We can't afford it. We're bankrupt now, on the verge of bankruptcy. All right? So those are the two arguments. Both arguments are very compelling for the people. We need health care relief. Is absolutely needed, but you want to bankrupt the country to get it.
And that gets at what all the polling shows, and Gibbs talked about that as well. The country wants something done because they hate these insurance companies. They don't like the president's plan.
Because it could literally put us where California is, where the United States would be issuing IOUs to people it owes money to on their savings bonds. It's insane. So what has to happen is both of these people have to knock it off, and I mean the president and the Republican Party, and they have to get in a room and they have to say, look, here's the reform we need, and here's how we're going to pay for it, and we can't do it all at once, so we're going to do it over a 20-year period, and we're going to present it to the folks in a united front and drop the politics.
So
that's not going to happen.
But is there? You don't think there's a deal to be had here, then?
I don't think it's a
You don't think there's a deal to be had here, then? You think there's
No, I'll tell you why there's no deal, because the ideologues on both sides smell blood. All right, Obama's got to watch his left-wing flank. They're still screaming about a public option. And Nancy Pelosi is still jumping up and down about a public option. Hey, Nancy, not happening, okay? Not going to happen. And then on the other side, all right, the real hardcore right says, we got him on the ropes. He's going to go down. President Obama, he's going to go. Why help him?
You know,
November is just around the corner.
I've been listening to you for the last several weeks, and you sound more and more like Ross Perot. But here,
I don't have a chart. I don't have $80 billion.
In this sense,
let him fund health care.
You're reaching out for this angry middle in the country that is alienated from both sides. But look at what happened to Scott Brown. The guy gets elected in Massachusetts, votes with the Democrats on this jobs bill. Look what they're saying up on his Facebook page. They're just tearing him apart there. You, sir, are a sellout. Way to double-cross millions. You don't deserve that Senate seat.
But this is the hard right. You know, this is the... Why do you... Look, the media presents a distorted picture to Americans because they seize upon the loons on both the left and the right. And they use what the loons say. Most Americans don't have anything against Scott Brown. They don't even know who he is yet, all right? So he votes for the jobs bill. There's nothing wrong with the jobs bill. All right? It's too expensive, but everything's too expensive. But it's not a catastrophe. This health care bill could be. It could be a catastrophe. The unintended consequences of jacking up Medicaid, jacking up Medicare, scaring doctors, cutting their fees. These things are really, really intense.
You think there's an opening for someone to come up the middle in 2012? I was talking to Evan Byer last week. He said there's an opening for a
maybe. It depends how articulate they are and how they're going to handle all the slime factor. That, you know, look, you get into this game now, they're going to tear you to pieces on both sides. You just saw what they're doing to Brown. All right. So do you have the stomach for it? You want to put your family through that? You want to do that? That's what scares them away. The press is so vicious now, and with a capital V, that I've.
So you wouldn't think about it.
Me?
Yeah.
I have more power doing what I'm doing, okay, than getting involved with the political process. Plus, you have to kiss butt to get money. You need $150 million to run for president. You know, unless the Chinese are going to back me, and I don't know that's a good thing.
Let me ask.
You know, what am I supposed to do? Go to Lenny's house and ask him for a few grand?
Let me ask you about Sarah Palin before we go.
Palin.
Jeb Bush came out the other day and talked about Sarah Palin.
My personal belief is that for Governor Palin to be a successful candidate for higher office, she needs to take this charisma she has and also add to it some depth of understanding of the complexity of life that we're living in today.
He added, I don't know what her deal is. Is he right? Because I've been watching her on your show, And it seems like she can't quite decide. Is she a candidate, an analyst?
Well, she wants to run, but I mean, it's a matter of, as I said, does she want to put her family through that hell? Does she want to raise the money?
Is she ready?
But Bush is right. The governor's right in the sense that Sarah Palin needs to go to college, political college, world affairs college, and she is. She's hired a bunch of advisors, and they're giving her a whole bunch of tracks to learn because it is a sophisticated deal. But give me a break. Nancy Pelosi is a genius. She's the Speaker of the House. She's afraid to come on my program, Stephanopoulos. If she were sitting where you're sitting, she'd be shaking. She can't answer the questions. She can't answer the questions. All right? So, yeah, Sarah Palin needs a little bit more seasoning, but don't tell me Harry Reid and Boehner and Pelosi are geniuses. They're not. The country's in a mess. If they were geniuses, we'd be better off.
Bill O'Reilly giving it to both sides this morning. Thanks very much.
All right, George.